In December 2017, we shared with you the updated ECSA roadmap, outlining the 5 pillars that will accelerate our transformational journey to achieve 2020 goals.
We are happy to share our progress on the roadmap, on scaling up development impact.
We will reach 10 million people in Southern Africa through food, nutrition and security programming.
Sawubona from South Africa. I would like to share with you a little bit about the Her Harvest, Our Future Southern Africa Impact Growth Strategy. In about 2016, we did an analysis of where Southern Africa's main injustices were. And it was clear that with over 36% of children under 5 suffering from stunting, with many people who just do not have enough food to eat, generally a focus on commercial farming, that we recognize that for all 6 countries we work with and even beyond, food, nutrition security, and climate change resilience were the most important things. In 2017, we worked really hard on impact measurement, pulling together data from peers, looking at super principles, which are sustainable, productive, profitable, equitable, and resilient, and looking where our programming has been. As many of you know, we have an annual impact report that we've shared, and it indicated that we're making some progress. However, now, in early January 2018, we're focusing on quite a few things that I'd like to share with you. First of all, we're improving the quality of our programming. So the super principles that I mentioned earlier, we're making sure that all of our projects and programs in country offices reflect those principles. We're also using that to influence and advocate with donors and government around the importance of having quality food systems for everybody. We've also had great success with our hubs. I'm not calling them learning hubs. These have been hubs of our strongest staff in each of the country offices to pool themselves together and look at nutrition, which is an area that we need to do further work in, to look at climate resilient agriculture, why does it work, why doesn't it work sometimes, to look at financial inclusion. Of course, we all know the power of village savings and loans, but where can it all go to? And then lastly, to look at gender transformation. Many of us do programs, but we have to make sure that we're actually having a positive influence on the harmony and relationships between men, women, girls, and boys. So we have a lot in plan. We're also doing an active role in fundraising, and our hubs are doing a big role in that. And we have been very active on the advocacy front, working with donors and governments, working very closely with other partners who have welcomed CARE warmly into that space. So keep watching Her Harvest, Our Future. We hope that it works well for all of us.
We will show a significant increase in the reach and impact of our programming against gender-based violence in the Great Lakes.
As a Great Lakes group, we have an impact growth strategy on gender-based violence.
In the Horn of Africa, we will start to show outcome level and evidence of multiplied impact through our resilience programming.
Going forward, our main priority for the Horn would be the development of our impact growth strategy. It'll focus on 3 main pillars. The first one dealing with strengthening resilience for households across the Horn. The second pillar would be around mass migration. We have millions of people on the move across the Horn, either because of conflict or the results of climate change, and we want to support them. And then our third pillar really focuses on our core mission of empowering women and girls, either through economic opportunities or increased access to education, and then of course ensuring that their households and communities are free from violence. It's an ambitious agenda, but we have a great team in the Horn, and I know we'll get it done.
In expanding our humanitarian assistance to reach 15 million people by 2020.
We will reach 4 million people specifically in the chronic crisis contexts of the DRC, South Sudan, and Sudan. And our rapid, effective response to crises in the rest of the region will directly impact and reach 11 million people.
Greetings, first of all, from sunny South Sudan. My name is Lemeria, and I work as a Horn of Africa coordinator, and I'm based in Nairobi. So right now I'm in one of our field offices in South Sudan, in Torit, Eastern Equatoria, the hotbed of conflicts, if you may. I wanted to provide you with an overview of our humanitarian response in the last year, 2017. Food insecurity and malnutrition escalated as a result of conflict, and natural disasters. By the end of the last quarter of 2017, more than 15 million people had already been affected. We responded to 15 crises in 10 countries, including 4 Type 4 countries like South Sudan, reaching more than 6.1 million people with our humanitarian assistance. The response was also supported by 49 emergency deployments, 57 comprising entirely by women. The response was also made possible by the generosity of CARE members who contributed more than $1.3 million in flexible funding to ensure that humanitarian assistance is sustained through this very difficult period. We hope that 2018 will be a better year, and we hope to continue to respond to the needs of crisis-affected population.
In demonstrating our impact,
our impact measurement system is enabling us to track, measure, and report on change at country, sub-regional, and regional levels in ways that are both broad in terms of robust data on impact at scale and deep in terms of insightful, powerful stories of how change happens and what it means to individuals and communities.
In the first half of the fiscal year, we worked closely with the CARE International MEL Group to develop a structured self-assessment for all staff whose role includes elements of monitoring, evaluation and learning. Over 80 staff from around the world have now completed this self-assessment, and it gives us a really good picture of where our strengths lie, as well as areas where we need to invest in skills and training and new capacity. This group are now connected as the CARE International MEL Community of Practice, and had their first virtual meeting on the 6th of February. Bringing this group together in this way should enable much more rapid sharing of learning and innovations, as well as dissemination of new resources and new materials to support our MEL staff around the region. We also did a quick survey of ACD programs and other program leaders across the ECSA region at the end of the second quarter. And we learned from them that monitoring, evaluation and learning was an area in which they were really hungry for some additional support. So guided by them, we're introducing something we're calling the ECSA Program Help Desk, which is kind of virtual assistant able to respond quickly to requests for support and connect ECSA's program leadership with resources and support across the organisation. Working with colleagues in PPL and CARE International, we're developing a new approach to MEL training, which we'll be piloting in the Southern Africa sub-region in Q4 before rolling out more widely across the region in the next fiscal year. And this training is going to be really interactive and based on problem solving against real scenarios and real challenges, particularly around persistent pain points, such as ensuring our evaluations give us robust evidence of impact and change. And of course, we'll be focusing on helping country office teams complete their peers reporting on time with high quality data.
In transforming how we engage,
we will grow and diversify our funding base with at least 2 significant new donor relationships established and maintained over time, and we will establish strategic partnerships and alliances, delivering real action on shared priorities, known as a great partner to civil society organizations and others in the region.
Hello friends, this is Kavina from ECSA. I'm the Regional Strategic Partnerships Director, and I'm here to give you an update on how we're transforming the way that we engage. Part of our roadmap talks about increasing our income and diversifying our donors. Last year we were able to submit proposals valued at about over $430 million. We secured close to 200 million of that. This year we're almost at 200 million proposals submitted, with approximately 30 million new contracts signed. Part of the way we transform the way we engage is how we diversify, and we're really focusing this year on looking out for new donors, pre-positioning, and getting our name out there. We're working closely with the EU office and our colleagues there in Brussels to really think about how we can tackle our eligibility issues. Ethiopia and Somalia are part of the pilot, and how we are addressing that. We're working really closely with our CMPs, CARE UK, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, the Dutch, in how we can better pre-position not only for new institutional donors, but also foundations and the private sector. Some of the strategic partners that we have been targeting over the last year has been the EU Trust Fund, which we were successful in gaining a new relationship with them for Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. We're also engaging with the Africa Development Bank, where we currently have active contracts in Somalia, but we're also looking more strategically at how we can apply for more grants and develop an MOU with their gender department. We're looking at the private sector much more. We have ongoing discussions with Coca-Cola, Pepsi, the Toro Foundation, Barclays, and all of this is in partnership with our CMP partners and the country offices. This past year we have also signed some MOUs to pre-position for better influence in this region, particularly with IGAD in the Horn of Africa. We're tracking and engaging more with UN Women and other multilaterals on ending violence against women. We have some strong relationships in how we're building up Her Harvest, Our Future in Southern Africa, for example, with Gracia Michel and Franapan. In the area of increasing our ability to partner, we have been working with the Partnering Institute with our partnership champions in our country offices, where we've designed a coaching program that will allow our partnerships champions to become better negotiators, better partners, and how to really work with local partnerships in a capacity building lens. I'm happy to have given you these updates today, and if you have any questions or any ideas, please get in touch. Thanks.
We have started building on the organization of the future.
We will build a more sustainable organization with the talent, perspectives, resilience, and leadership capacity to deliver the larger, more complex, and more integrated program that this roadmap requires.
We said we'd have a third of our leadership positions across the region taken up by African women. We are doing well on this. 35% of the senior leadership, which is regional management, country directors, assistant country directors, finance directors, and the senior management team are African women. We also said we want 50% of any department in the region to be filled by women. There is much more work needed on this. On average, 33% of each department is filled by women. Over the next few years, we will work towards reaching these goals.
An independent review shows that we are a sector leader in terms of wellness and that there is a significantly marked increase in staff wellness across the region.
Hi everybody, today I'm giving you a short update on the wellness pilot in Mozambique. During the last few years, the SMT in Mozambique has been concerned with a high number of leave balances at the end of each calendar year, which involves lower graded staff. Every year staffers in this category forgo their leave, while we have seen an increase in health-related problems. By September 2017, staffers in this category had an average leave balance of 36%. As part of its growing commitment to global staff wellness, a group of wellness leaders designed a wellness pilot for Yemen, Mozambique, and the US in 2017. The goal of the pilot test was to improve staff wellness in a meaningful and sustainable way and ensure that findings will be incorporated into the larger care wellness strategy in 2018. Based on the findings of the focus group discussions in Mozambique, the country office originally proposed to improve staff wellness by increasing the utilization of annual leave among lower graded staff. As in other pilot countries, the country office proposed to provide additional payment for leave taken. These payments were combined with the ongoing efforts by the HR and SM team, which is focused on working with supervisors to prepare and submit leave plans, as well as hire temporary relief staff. The initial proposal stipulated that eligible staff that have taken at least 80% of their annual leave by the end of 2018 will be paid with a matching daily holiday allowance. While we're still reviewing some of the results, we are very happy to report that by January 2018, the first cohort of eligible staff reduced their leave balance by 16%, which is 9% better utilization compared to non-eligible staff within the same category. While we're still doing our analysis, we want to focus on the following in 2018: increase awareness on new benefits among all eligible staff, ensure the eligible staff will participate actively in the rollout. We also want to compare our results to previous calendar years and do a more in-depth analysis. We also want to continue with other wraparound wellness activities, such as on the wellness rooms for new mothers and babies in all of our offices, such as this one in Maputo. Thank you.
Operational excellence is a key pillar for all the progress we have made. This is how we are transforming care in the region.
Thank you for the global support.